Blast weapons in Monster Hunter Rise can be pretty fucking good if you stack enough of the blast specific perks. And in this video, I'm going to show you exactly how to do it. So, let's get right into it. Now, you'll notice that I'm using a hammer right here. And it's for very good reason. Because when it comes to Teostra opens, there are very few actual good Teostra opens that actually work with this build. The only Teostra weapons I would actually recommend for this would be the hammer, the sword and shield, and the longsword, because those are the only weapons with a decent amount of blue sharpness to reasonably maintain. The hammer and sword and shield both have 40 hits, and the longsword has 30 hits. Anything under, and you will not be able to maintain blue sharpness, which would be really bad for this build. And there's absolutely no way you could really fit Master's Touch. The only way you could fit Master's Touch, which would probably help you maintain the sharpness better than Protective Polish, which is what I have on here, is if you swap out the Teostra weapon for a Magnum Malo. And of course, if the difference being that the Teostra weapons have a perk on them to where you get stronger blast procs, and the difference is 24. Regular blast procs, they proc for 120. With the Teostra Soul perk on your weapons, your blast procs will be 144. It's not the biggest difference, but it's a difference. So, if you wanted to, you could reasonably, possibly slide in Master's Touch, which would help you keep up that sharpness, but it'd be really freaking tough to do. You'd have to have a very specific talisman. And even with this build, you kind of need a specific talisman to make this work, but if you don't, you can still make it work. So I recommend hammer, sword and shield, or longsword if you're gonna go Teostra weapon. Anything else, I would do Magnum Malo. You'd get an extra 2 slot, which would be really helpful. But your blast would proc less, and it wouldn't hit as hard. Okay, so 3-piece Teostra. Well, you only need the 2-piece. You only need the 2-piece Teostra, but the Kaiser helmet is kind of best in slot right now, so I always recommend this if you're going for crit eye or crit boost. Always recommend this. The jelly chest piece. Now, the way you get this is by sending your Meowcenaries over the lava caves, and when you see a shiny there, and you'll bring back parts where you can make this chest piece. It has 2 blasts on it and a 2 slot, which I have a blast slotted in, so I'm getting all my blast attack exclusively from this chest piece. The Teostra coil and arms are so we can have the set bonus, Teostra's Blessing, which you can see here. Teostra's Blessing basically makes your blast stronger. Well, makes your blast build up stronger, or makes your blast build up faster. So that is definitely beneficial when stacked with the 3 blast attack. You end up having 30% increased blast buildup, which is pretty good. And you only need 2 pieces, and luckily the 2 pieces of Teostra gear are pretty freaking good. So you want to go with hands and coil. The other pieces aren't that great. Chest isn't very good, and you'd be losing out on the jelly chest. And the boots are even worse. So these are 2 pieces you want. Kadachi Greaves are so you can get that 7 crit eye. All of the crit eye on this build is through armor. You're getting 3 from here, 1 from each of the other 2 pieces, and 2 here, plus a 2 slots, so you can get 7 crit eye. You are slotting in 3 weakness exploit and 2 crit boost, or 1 crit boost. Slotting in 1 crit boost, yeah. Slotting in 1 crit boost. And the one thing that makes this build work is you need at least a talisman with a level 2 slot on it, because you need to slot in the final weakness exploit or crit boost. You need that slot. So without a talisman with level 2 slot, you will be missing either crit boost or weakness exploit, which is bad. Now, ideally, what you want on that talisman is something to help you maintain sharpness if you're using sword and shield, longsword especially. I was lucky enough to have Protective Polish talisman with a level 2 slot, so that I could Get my weakness exploit or crit boost. What's weakness exploit? Weakness exploit is what I put in here, but it'll be either weakness exploit or crit boost that you slot in here. Protective polish is probably the most common thing you will get. You can technically get Master's Touch on the talisman, but you're probably gonna have a rough time getting any extra slots. It's probably possible to get Master's Touch with a 2 slot, and 2 levels of Master's Touch should be helpful. But if you don't have protective polish, don't freak out. You'll be okay. I have speed sharpen slotted in, which will help if in case you drop below blue. But Master's Touch would be best case scenario, but you're more than likely gonna just have to make do if you don't have protective polish, or you can use a Magnum Hollow weapon, which has a 2 slot, and say you have 2 level 2 slots on a talisman, one for the weakness expert or crit boost, slot in a protective polish, and if you use a Magnum Hollow weapon, you can put in the 2nd level of protective polish there, and having 1 minute of not having to sharpen or not having to lose any sharpness is really good. You have very limited sharpness to maintain. So this is what I would recommend. I tried every other combination of armor, and even if you have a really good blast talisman, the jelly vest is just, it's pretty much best in slot for blast, because there's not really many other options for chest pieces. Teostra chest piece is kind of whatever. So jelly chest piece is where you're going to be going. Now, one super important thing for blast builds that you should not ever forget is always eat for specialist. When you eat for specialist, I don't know what the exact numbers are, but there is a huge difference when you don't eat without this. If you eat for specialist, you will notice that within the first couple minutes of you hunting a monster, you will notice a silly amount of blast procs, even with hammer. You will notice your second hit with any weapon will cause a blast proc. Your 2nd hit. And usually within a minute, you should be able to get 4 or 5 blast procs. Just within a minute, as long as you eat for specialist, you will get 4 or 5 blast procs, assuming you're hitting the monster. And it'll slowly degrade after that. But with the hammer, I was able to get just about under a dozen blast procs of 144 on Kashella, which has a 3-star weakness to blast. Just about under a dozen, and with SNS, well over a dozen blast procs. So, of course, SNS is going to have more because it just hits away faster than hammer. But the point is, the difference is night and day. You'll probably get almost twice as much blast procs if you eat for specialist. So definitely don't forget. I haven't tested with the other weapons, but it should be similar results. But your mileage may vary. Maybe I just got lucky, but I did multiple tests to verify that was the case. Eat for specialist, it will improve. It will improve this build so much more, and honestly make the low raw on the Teostra weapons worth it. Of course, if you want, you can use the Magnum Hollow weapons as well. They have really good raw, decent sharpness, and pretty decent blast. I wouldn't recommend the bagel weapons because they have low blast and low affinity. But yeah, this is the build. I hope you enjoyed it. Next build video that you'll be seeing on the channel will be Master's Touch, a Master's Touch build. So let me know in the comment section what kind of builds you want to see. I'm probably going to be doing some Gunlance builds and Charge Blade builds really soon. Maybe dual blades. If there's anything that requires a specific kind of build. Switch axe. I'm not going to be covering ranged weapons for a while. But I'm sure that people want ranged weapons. Maybe I'll do ranged weapon builds. But I know there are other people who are more experienced with ranged weapons that could probably make better build videos than me. Or make better videos in general than me. But either way, thank you guys so much for watching. If you like this, leave a comment. below. Let me know what you hated about my build. Let me know what you loved about my build. Let me know that you love or hate me. And most of all, like, subscribe, and visit my Twitch channel. I would really like it if you guys visit me while I'm live streaming. Said hi, especially if you're from YouTube. Until next time, I will leave you with me killing this Kashella and getting a nice gem drop if you haven't got those. If you want to see what it's like to get a Kashella gem, you're about to see it. Until next time, I will see you guys soon. Bye-bye.